Hello, everyone out there, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network. Right now, the Elite Racing Series has had an outbreak of some kind of disease. I'm not sure if it's chlamydia or what it is, but everyone's getting sick. I am one of the few that is not down with something right now. Joining me in the booth is Dave Huckleberry and Robert Hill Jr., but Robert will not be saying too much tonight because he has that chlamydia disease that's rolling around this garage area right now.
He's the one with the really bad voice, and I'm the one with the sort of bad voice.
As you can see, it's a night race here. It looks like there's very little chance of precipitation.
Where'd all the dirt go?
57, yeah, no dirt. We are rolling through qualifying. We've got about 40 seconds left. Got 3 sets of tires laying in the pits. Keys to the race, don't die. That's great right there. And the defending race winner is Josh Adams. And this is the last race before we race for the championship next week. So there is a bunch of points on the line. There's a bunch of drama that may play out. If you watched last week, you know, Chad Frankenfield and Scott Crump had a bit of a disagreement. So far, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that's something to watch tonight. And it is Bristol. So I don't think anybody would be surprised as you see the points here. Tyler Foti is locked in. I believe RC Enerson is also locked in. So it's Scott. Oh, once he starts, and RC, he is here tonight, right? Yes, he is here.
Qualified looks like P3.
So those two are locked in, and then it's a battle between Scott Crump, Tate Lytle, Chad Frankenfield, Garrison Hogan, Latham Joyner, Ethan Stanley, and Jared Campbell. Real quick here before we get going, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. This is the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. I'll give a shout out to everybody at the Elite Racing Network. Chad all the way down. Chad runs a great league. Got Dave here. Dave is going to be my person in the booth tonight, and he does a great job keeping us in line here for the broadcasting stuff, keeping our schedules and everything intact. It's Dave makes it look pretty easy, but it's got to be.
I'm already bored. I have no buttons to push. All I have to do is talk.
And I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Goodies. They have hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you, and your home, and you can find them on Facebook today. TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services have been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. Blue Egg Marketing. They are the marketing department for small business. And Britzicam. Britzer is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. So real quick here, boys, as we get ready to roll off the grid, as you know, elite short track racing, get lots of cautions. I'm going to set the over-under at 12. You guys taking the over or the under?
I will take the over.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the over as well, Chris.
I'm going to take the under. I think I trust in these boys to do it in less than 12 cautions.
I don't. Why don't we do our race picks here before we get going, Chris?
All right, go ahead. Start us off, Robert. Who you got?
I'm going to go with a guy making a rare start here. I'm going to go with Ethan Burrell starting way at the back here, P23. Dave?
Now I'm going to take the guy who's sitting on the pole, and I picked him before he got the pole, but he's still looking pretty good. Scott Crump.
And Chris.
That's right. We brought some professionalism this week. We discussed some stuff before the thing got going. I was here more than just 1 minute early.
Yeah, because Chris showed up early. That was really cool.
But I'm going to take Josh Sugar Daddy Adams. He wants that nickname tonight, so we're going to give it to him. And we got a lap here before green, so let's go over this starting lineup real quick. You got Scott Crump, David Tooker, RC Enerson, who by taking the green flag will lock in, Josh Adams, Gerald Campbell, Jay Connor, Dustin Dewar, Tyler Pop, Trey Holmes, Matthew Weeks running out the top 10. We got Tyler Foti, who is the only guy coming into tonight, and RC wants the thing gets going. Feeling good about it. Going to race for a championship. Got Ethan Stanley, Cody Harrington, Chad Frankenfield, and Michael Goodman rounding out the top 15. Couple notables, Ethan Burrell, 24th, Tate Lytle, 25th. As we come through 3 and 4, getting ready to get the green, Scott Crump has chosen the outside. Green is out. Good start for the outside. It's going to bring Josh Adams right up to the back of Scott Crump. Ooh, Josh Adams nearly gets a piece of the wall off of turn 2. Side by side for the lead. Is the bottom going to win out? I did not anticipate this. Ooh, RC gets loose, saves it. The 62, the 66, the 45's in the wall. No caution, but cars were sliding everywhere. It looked like somebody was leaking oil or something all over turn 1 and 2 on the bottom side.
Like it's all calmed down now.
We are on lap 3. 3 for Dale, boys.
RC drops back to 8th.
Yeah, he's. It looks like that bottom held on pretty good for a minute, and now, if you are side by side, you want to be. Oh, we got the 18 spinning. We're going to get a caution. No major damage. Should be able to get that fixed up. Joshua Personette.
Let's take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to JP here to bring out the first yellow.
Looks like he's going to get loose on the outside of Goodman there.
I believe he's also going to get hit here once he starts spinning. Car gets sideways. He catches it. Little
right
contact.
there.
Josh Smith, I do believe, in the 80.
Now, I do not anticipate pit stops for the field here, but the 18 may come down and do some damage repair.
Does look like he's staying out here, Chris.
It's not terrible. It's Bristol. You know, we've seen cars run competitive with no nose. Scott Crump is still the leader. David Tooker, Jay Canor, Josh Adams, and Joe Campbell round out the top 5. Oh, is Harry coming to pit road here?
Harrison Talon is coming down pit road. And as you can see there, Josh Personette gets the tally.
Not quite sure what's going on there. Dave, what do you think? And what do you think about that pit call?
I'm got to be different, I guess. Harry doesn't really have much to go for here, so you got to get a little bit off strategy. I was going back, and it looks like Ethan Stanley may have picked up some damage on front-end damage running into the back of the 80 car on that last yellow. And I believe Ethan is one of our... No, Ethan is not a chaser in this one, is he? He's on the outside looking in, though.
Quantum Esports. Tell you what, we were lucky not to get a caution before we got a caution right there.
Absolutely. There should have been one a bit earlier with RC Enerson there, but the guys did a good job.
Scott Crump is going to once again take the outside. Looks a lot like the start. Same players. RC fell back a little bit, but we can now go ahead and 100% say RC is going to be racing for a championship next week with Tyler Foti. The question is, who joins him? Can it be Scott Crump? Will it be someone else?
You know, someone I didn't think of that might have been a good pick for tonight would have been David Tooker. He's running up front here now and haven't heard his name much lately, but
Tooker's a guy that you always got to watch. He's not in the playoffs, is he?
No.
Yeah, so he picks his races that he wants to run, but he's competitive when he chooses to run. Oh, the 32 got loose down there, and he gets it gathered up. Took took the 32 Dustin Dewar there a little while to get back up to speed almost, it seemed.
Got an interesting crew back here a little ways with Chad Frankenfield, Jeff Green.
Oh, we got a race for the lead. Scott Crump is going to have Josh Adams on his outside. Scott racing for a championship. Josh Sugar Daddy Adams just racing for the win tonight, doing some trophy hunting. And Sugar Daddy goes to the front, boys. Our front 5, 7, most of the field now single file running the top. This has kind of became a normal kind of deal for Bristol. But as I say that, Josh is going to go run the bottom.
I can almost hear Robert typing right now, changing Joshua's name.
There it is. We got the graphic.
I just had this feeling that was coming. Perfect. Well done. Bravo.
He might not be able to talk very well tonight, but he's still 100% there the rest of it.
Absolutely. And there's Dave's favorite word as well.
Yep. I'm going to drink every time you say it.
Well, we got RC and Gerald Campbell racing side by side here. Well, they were RC gave up on that. He figured that wasn't going to happen.
You know who's going to be up here in that soon is Chad. He got past Weeks finally.
Yeah, 'tis the season too. That Chad Frankenfield Christmas machine there. Is that Chad driving that thing, or is that Chevy Chase? What do you guys think?
We'll see soon. If he uses the nose, then it's Chad for
More like
sure.
Randy Quaid.
Got Weeks coming up here behind him. Jeff Green coming behind him. There's a lot of guys right there just lined up. It would appear as if Gerald Campbell might be holding these guys up a little bit, but it's just way hard to pass. Chad said, I'm going to go ahead and dive down here and see if I can get it done. And he realized real quick if he didn't get back in line, Matthew Weeks was going to pass him. Do you guys foresee this bottom side getting better or worse as the night goes on?
Oh, contact.
Yeah, I definitely
Stanley
think.
getting to the back rucker.
I think it depends on how many guys go to the bottom. If we can get more rubber down there, it'll grip up and be really nice for these guys to run the bottom.
Yeah, I would like to see this bottom side work a little better. We do not want to see some kind of single file parade like we had to endure on Friday night there in the Elite Indy 500.
Yeah, I just came over the driver chat to inform RC that he was locked in. Do you think he does that when he's right behind him trying to... Hey, by the way, you're locked in. Could you move out of the way, please?
That's exactly what that means.
Yeah, I read through that.
As you see Chad
Right between
looking
the
at
lines,
bottom.
right? Doesn't look like it's working. We got a yellow. Not sure what it is. I got nothing over here.
I got nothing.
I believe it's going to be the 16 car of Brandon Key. Oh, no, it was not the 16 car. It was Josh Personette again.
I think it's Personette. He may be done. Let's take a look. Looks like he just loses it again.
Yeah, same.
That time was pretty hard contact.
Yeah, I think this is his second tally, though. Even if he's not damaged, I think he's tallied out.
Now, if I was Josh Personette, I'd say I got hit and that was netcode. But even if it was, I think he should still get the tally. Because he just slides right up in front of the 32, so I'm not sure if he felt netcode or if it was actual contact.
RC Enerson, Matthew Weeks coming down pit road, guys. Jeff Green as well.
We have a bunch of cars. It's going to be a split decision here.
Sugar Daddy stays out though.
I actually think staying out is the call.
I do as well.
Oh, generous.
Yeah,
Racing incident.
I disagree with that call from race control. That should be Personet's second tally, no doubt about it.
I bet you Josh Personette agrees with race control.
Oh,
Merry
for
Christmas.
sure.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed.
I for sure think he agrees with that call, but I believe since we are going to have a caution here. Oh, never mind. We just got one to go. Yeah, I was looking for a commercial break there. I was trying to do my best version of Fox to get us some commercials, but we'll just wait. 2 laps after the green, we'll go to commercial, and you guys can miss some race action for 30 seconds. Josh Adams has picked the top, and the first car on tires I believe is going to be RC Enerson in 17th. Green is out. Great start for Josh Adams. And I just want to let the record show that I would not have pitted there. No way, shape, or form. The action back here around the RC is exciting, trying to work through some of this traffic. Matthew Weeks is stuck up there in a tough spot. Just nowhere for RCs. Like, let me out from behind the 71, but there's a car up on the top side. There's cars on the bottom side. If I had to guess, this RC machine is going to pull to the top side here now that he's got clear of the 42. Or he's going to drive up underneath David Carpenter. RC snaking his way through these guys.
Tyler Poppin, 7th, is just kind of getting freight trained. He's running the bottom lane, and everybody's just kind of passing him around the top. Chad got stuck in behind him. He's now kind of dropped back behind Foti to be able to at least go high if he wants to.
It's just so hard. Traffic is just such a tough deal out here to negotiate. We're 3 wide.
Oh, contact. Ethan Stanley and the 80 car. Brent Jones, or 89. Is that Brent Jones, right? Oh, 80 was.
Whoever it was, they almost wrecked. Chad Frankenfield is backing up. And RC pitted from right in front of Chad, and now RC is on the back bumper of Chad with way newer tires. RC is going to pull to the bottom. I'm very interested to see if RC can pass these cars now on the bottom with newer tires. Probably 20 lap fresher tires, would you say, boys? 20 green flag laps or so on that rest of the field. I know it was 33 when they pitted, but we had a couple cautions. It looks like RC is making it work. It's not easy, but it's not uber difficult like it was. He's going to go back to the bottom once again. Now, worst case scenarios for these guys that pitted is to run like 30 or 45 laps in a row. Because then you're down a set of tires. You only had 3 laying in the pits. So if we get much past lap 50, 55, you're probably going to have to come back with these boys. And just basically be short a set of tires the rest of the race.
Rucker into the wall,
Tyler
gets into
Foti
Foti.
with Rucker. The 13, the 15, the 32 is going to get in there. The 37 is in it. We got a yellow.
Couple of really close calls off the nose of Foti there.
If I'm Tyler Foti, I am happy that I won the last 2 weeks. That's for sure. We'll take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay here, see what happened to all of these guys.
Rucker's going to get to the outside of Foti there. Oh, and does Rucker hit the wall?
Yeah, Rucker does get the wall there, bounces off into Foti, and then it just kind of goes from there.
13 gets involved. 38 to 15. The 37 gets a piece of it. Ethan might have just spun. We had some pitters, but the guys right at the front chose to stay out again. Yeah, and I believe we got a commercial here, Robert, right? Welcome back after the commercial there for TA as cars getting damage repaired. Going to ride on board with Tyler Foti here. Man, never seen it, did you? Never seen it. That's a wild feeling, is it not there, Robert?
Yeah, that's one of the worst feelings for sure when you're like completely out of control here.
Now you're
Nothing you
looking
can
right
do.
at the guy.
There goes Weeks by.
Brent Jones, Trevor Elam,
And now you're nosed out into traffic.
Dave Carpenter coming here, Harrison Talon losing it on the bottom. Jeez.
Look at them all cranking it to the left, trying to stay off of him.
Michael Hossack barely missing him here. Wow.
There's Cody Harrington way back there. He must have spun out trying to slow down. As far back as he is. Oh, yeah. Caution comes out and locks it down, and
Does he
quite a bit of rear brake in that car. Oh, man. He needed
Left
4
front.
more feet. 4 feet is all he needed.
Wow. Painful.
Well, we are about to go back green. Josh Adams has chose the bottom here. A lot of those guys that stayed out again. Some pitted. So RC is going to be up to 7th here. Green comes out once again. Pretty good start for Josh Adams. He'll get to pick his line when he gets down here to the corner. Ooh, that's going to hurt is Scott Crump here. Going to be trapped on the bottom. Still trapped on the bottom. And now the 92 is the first car on tires as he's gotten around to RC. Crump gets up to the top there in front of Tooker. Josh Adams got a little gap over second place, who is getting ready to be the 92 machine of Ethan Stanley, who is now the first car on tires. Gerald Campbell, your broadcaster for the Truck Series, sitting up here inside the top 5. He always seems to find his way towards the front at these short tracks. Why do you think that is, Dave? Why is Gerald always at the front on the short tracks?
He's aggressive. I would say that would do it. He's never had a sit back and wait for the race to come to him type of personality.
Yeah, I would agree. Gerald is not one to sit there and say, "Oh, we might be able to do something later. Let's be smart here." Gerald is not that. We got a yellow.
Dusty. Messed up his Christmas car.
Dewar. Yeah, he put some coal on the side of that thing.
Oh, he got hit by the 18 of Josh Personette. Is Josh going to be able to avoid getting that tally?
Let's take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay, just behind Brandon Key on the outside of Josh Personette.
I think Personette, if he escaped the oh, and Cody Harrington once again is going to come in here. He might want to dial some front brake in that thing. He goes to the brake pedal and he just oh, it might be too late to dial front brake into that now.
Yeah, I don't think he has any front brakes left. I think that's either a racing incident or on the 32 for coming down. But speaking of coming down, here's Sugar Daddy.
Yeah, Sugar Daddy making his appearance on pit road. It's going to bring Scott Crump with him. We got, we had the TA commercial here. Last caution. So this caution, let me tell you a little bit about everybody at Elite Racing Network. Dave keeps us in line, as I've stated many times. He's up here tonight. He's the everyman. He can do a little bit of broadcasting, does a whole lot of keeping us in line, which I think
Just
we're pretty easy to
ask me
manage.
to drive.
We're easy to manage, right, Dave? No drama.
Mm-hmm. Move on to the next thing. Go ahead. You don't have anything nice to say, you say nothing at all.
And then give a shout out to all our sponsors, everybody at Mrs. Goody's Goodies. They have hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you, and your home. You can find them on Facebook today. Blue Egg Marketing, they are your marketing department. And Brintycam. Brinty is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they're on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. And, of course, TA Services. For over 36 years, TA has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. And, of course, Chad for putting these leagues races on every day of the week. It's almost the off season, right? So we got this week and we got next week. And then we're off for about 2 weeks, right? That's our off season.
Yeah,
A little more than that. I don't think we come back until February, right?
Well,
no, we're back in January with ARCA.
Well, and then
with ARCA, yeah.
January 6th too. We got the big event on January 6th. I believe that has been announced, so I'm going to go ahead and promote it. Tune in on January 6th. I believe that date is correct for the Dale Jr. Foundation event that is going to be taking place on Elite Racing Network. It's a 6-hour race at Indianapolis. Can't wait to be part of that. I've not been told that I'm in the broadcast for that, but I have told Chad and the people at ERN that I would love to do a couple hours of that broadcast. I'm also going to participate in the event as a driver. Can't wait to do that for a great cause, the Dale Jr. Foundation. And I believe Dale will be in and around for for that broadcast and race, I'm sure, since it's his foundation. As we go green, the 92 restarts on the top side. Gets away. And Josh Sugar Daddy Adams and Scott Crump are the first cars on the tires. Well, the 9 cars, Jay Canor. Those are the guys now that have the tires. And they are back right around 17th, 18th, right in there. See how they do working some traffic. Oh, the 71 gets sideways, nearly spins.
Yeah,
and
he
it looks
had
like
some
Scott
help
Crump.
from Jay Kaner there.
Scott Crump has kind of fallen back a little bit. I almost wonder if that's he knows Chad was in a wreck, knows that there was some issues, and doesn't want to be up there and get caught up in something.
Yeah, I think things are just getting a little too crazy for some of these guys.
And some of these guys need the crazy.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for crazy, probably came to the right place.
Yeah, Rucker and Frankenfield been exchanging pleasantries back there a little bit. Getting addresses
Josh
for Christmas
is,
cards.
Josh is moving forward here pretty good, at a pretty good click. Bringing Tate Lytle, who has all of a sudden became the second car on tires, right along with him. Gerald is one of those guys who still has yet to make a pit stop. And that shows at this point. Trying to think here, who has yet to make a pit stop? Is it just Gerald?
Top 7. Top 7 haven't come in since lap 28.
Yeah, but I don't believe Gerald has pitted at all.
At all?
Gerald has not come down pit road yet whatsoever.
No.
And he is the only car who
He
has
is the only
Correct.
one that I showed it. Yeah.
How do you think he's feeling about now?
Why do you
Not
keep
very
asking
good.
me about how I think Gerald feels? Because he's
What?
one of those guys it's really hard to tell about anything.
I'm just talking about like being the only guy out here on tires, or not on tires. That's quite a strategy call to make at this point.
I feel like I'm sitting in my therapist's office and Chris is just trying to get me to say something bad about
You're
Gerald.
just doing therapy for Gerald, though.
That's right. He's
Show
my
us on
partner,
this-
man.
show
I
us
can't
on
say
this
anything bad
Gerald
about him.
doll where he's hurt.
How does it make you feel when I ask you about how Jared feels?
Hey, Joe doesn't ask me about you, Chris. So
Well, I don't race in that series though.
I like all my announcers equally.
I don't know. I disagree with that. If that's the
Somewhat.
case,
Somewhat.
I do drive the Huck machine, so I feel like
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
a leg up on everybody else.
You look good in the black and gold.
I did. Too bad it hasn't ran a little closer to the front for you.
Speaking of black and gold, you see the Boilers are now number 1 in the country. Proud of that.
Who's the Boilers?
Purdue.
Oh yeah, Purdue. That's a place.
Yeah.
That's a place? Is that what you said?
That's right.
They're my sugar daddy. They pay the
I
bills.
just want to point out Scott Crump continues to fall now back to 21st.
Yeah, and he's on newer tires too. I almost wonder if he's just trying to let this thing cycle out. Maybe he thinks it's going to be a long run and he'll be able to pass people. But a guy who is just attacking and going and getting it is Josh Sugar Daddy Adams, who is now up inside the top 5. Not sure what that sponsor there is. What is that? Dubby?
Debbie, I think it's a beverage.
Looks like an adult beverage.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let's pull him in while he's running under green and ask him.
Well, I would, but he does not sit in this Discord. He is in that Pro Edge Discord over there with
Oh,
3/4 of the field.
there's only 75 guys over there.
As we have Garrison Hogan looking for the lead. in the 4 machine.
Garrison, one of those guys in a must-win situation, so he's doing whatever he can to try to do it.
Oh, he and
RC
RC get together. RC's gonna
RC
gonna
and
save
Ethan
it.
Stanley got together there.
RC with the big save there, big catch.
RC's about to get got by the Sugar Daddy.
Yeah, Sugar Daddy with his new tires. Tate Lytle following him right through it too. Tate's a guy that's in the playoff race. And we're also getting into lap traffic here. Josh Adams is going to go through to P2. 66, that's going to slow up the 92. Working lap cars. This is, oh, the 66 gets a piece of the wall. Oh, they're 3 wide. Trevor gets a little help from Chad Frankenfield. Chad had Trevor jacked way up down there into 1. Oh, and they're 3 wide again with the lap car. Another car that's came through the field here. Tyler Foti, we saw him getting wrecked earlier. And he is, he's trying to crack the top 10. So they all try to negotiate some of these lap cars. Sugar Daddy's on the hunt though, boys. And Tate Lytle is also on the hunt. Tate needs a nickname too. That's our deal for the end of this race. We got to come up with a good nickname for Tate. You guys got any come to mind here when we think about Tate Lytle?
No, not yet. Couldn't think of one on the fly.
Well, Sugar Daddy takes the lead, and here comes Tate Lytle. Coming through the second. The Days Gone By machine there. Days Gone By is going to be sponsoring Championship Race Week next week, so they do a lot with the lead, and love them being here. Check them out on Etsy, I believe is where you can find the Days Gone By page. And if I'm wrong there, Tate will let me know about it pretty quick.
He'll definitely let you know, that's for sure.
I'd go with something like Wild West. He always reminds us that he's out west.
Wild West. Oh, 3 wide.
Yep.
Chad down low.
Trying to work through all this craziness with Rucker working on the top as well.
Ethan Stanley just continuing to fall now outside the top 10, back in 13th, getting passed by Elam and Rucker.
Yeah, I believe Ethan Stanley might have burned his stuff up.
Absolutely. One that didn't, though, Josh Sugar Daddy Adams.
That's right. And him and Tate now are driving away. I believe Jay Canor is the next car that's on their tire strategy, so they've done a great job in this traffic. One car that we talked about losing spots now gaining them back and driving through the field after it's strung out. Scott Crump has now cracked the top 15. So I think he was just saving his stuff, taking care of his equipment. Now it's time to go to work for Scott. Taking a look here at our top 3. Tooker latched on to the back of Tate. Oh, Brandon Key gets up into the wall. Gerald Campbell might have gotten into the wall right there behind him. Oh, Jeff Green's in. We got a wreck. Jeff Green. Oh, is Sugar Daddy involved?
Guys, that's our race leaders. Oh my gosh.
Wow, Tate Lytle, Josh Adams, the 4 of Garrison Hogan, the 9 of Jay Canor, David Tooker.
Oh my gosh. What?
Dusty gets up into the wall.
Let's pull that up on the Whiskey Cast replay and see what
And
happened.
Jeff Green.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff Green went after Josh Adams after this was over. It wasn't Josh's fault. I'm not real sure why Jeff Green was going after Josh Adams.
Dusty gets loose behind.
Oh, he's going to stop on track right in front of him. Yeah, he's just in T-bone location. And everybody just piles in behind.
That changes everything.
Oh my gosh, guys. And you said Jeff went after.
Yeah, after this was over, he goes after Josh Adams. I don't know why. Like, I'm not sure what he expects Josh Adams to do there.
Wow.
If anything, maybe Jeff should hold the brake at that spot. Maybe he did. It looked like he rolled backwards and then he went back to the brake, but
New race leader, Brent Jones.
Wow.
I want to watch that again from Sugar Daddy's view.
And there wasn't anything on driver chat about car stopped on the track, so
Yeah, we're gonna come off the corner. There he sits, and there's just nothing.
I want to back that up and add some telemetry.
So as a driver, I mean, what's the rule there if you're Jeff? I mean, for everything I've heard, they've always say hold the brakes. So I think he did what he was supposed to do.
They want you to hold the brake. You know, they want you to hold the brake. But what Jeff maybe could have done there is said, "I'm wrecked off of 2 and I'm stopped."
That would be true too.
There should have been some radio activity.
Yeah, nothing was said.
There's no reason something like that should be silent.
And I know Josh was frustrated because he said that he was up nosed at the wall, rolled backwards, and then held the brake. Like Josh said, he probably could have held the brake and kept it up by the wall.
Look at Scott Crump back to 5th now. Real shakeup in the top 10. Harrison Talon up there now. That's crazy. What a series of events, guys.
That was something else. Did everybody pit here? Yeah, everybody chose to pit there. So everybody's on a reset here.
Yeah, everybody came in.
That was a huge wreck. That's changed the contenders here at the front of the field as RC gets a big restart. Every car in the top 5 right there. Every car in the top 5 was involved in that. Tate Lytle's out here running, but I mean he's down on power. I thought I saw a puff of smoke like he might have blew up. That really has hurt Tate's car. I believe he's going to be lucky if he doesn't blow up. You hate to have that happen. There's the discussion going on right now about there's nothing Jeff could have done, and I agree. You got wrecked in a terrible spot. There's not much you can do. But iRacing Spotter doesn't call out where you're sitting, especially when there's not a caution. So nobody had came to Jeff to trigger the caution. What they were looking for there is maybe Jeff to come over and say, "I'm sitting stopped at this point," and give them a chance to get checked up.
Usually there's a few of these drivers that have other spotters too that can be telling them that. So humans, I mean, not the iRacing spotter.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody in the top 5 did.
Yeah, that's just and they're not in driver chat usually, so that doesn't help. So.
Well, you hate to see that for Josh Sugar Daddy Adams, because he had a shot to win this race. It appeared to be the best car, but he didn't lose any points in this, so who that really affects is somebody like a Tate Lytle. He might, Garrison as well. Is Garrison in that playoff race too?
Yeah, he's still in red.
So that effectively ended their chances at having a shot to race for a championship next week. Oh yeah, because Tate's given up a ton of points now. Tate and Garrison and Latham. Is Latham out here? So he's no effect. So yeah, that man. And we do have side by side Scott Crump, Chad Frankenfield. Both are in a position to race for a championship right now. Do they both know that and understand the situation is the question. Because if they both finish right where they're running, those will be the two that join RC and Tyler Foti next week.
Or does Scott know now that Chad's in that situation and try to change something?
Yeah, you could eliminate him now, right?
That's right.
Well, here's my question, and I'm not trying to be a knock on any driver, but if you had a chance to race head-to-head at Fontana against somebody for a championship, would you rather have Chad Frankenfield in there or Tate Lytle?
100% Chad.
Exactly. Tate is very, very good at
Chad's
Fontana.
good as well, but that's
he's not
Tate's
Tate.
playground.
Tate's finished first or second like every race 5 in a row or something at Fontana. So if I was Scott, I would rather Chad make that race next week.
You got Chad, you got Rucker, Gerald, and Crump all there in a row.
All right, I know we're racing right now. I know there's a race going on, but I do have a driver that has requested to come up here. I did tell him he's got to be cordial if he's going to talk about what happened. But we got Josh Adams in the waiting room going to join us.
That's not his name.
Josh Sugar Daddy Adams now joins us.
There you go.
Josh, you were the sugar daddy tonight for a long time until that incident off of 2, and like we talked about, you're out here trophy hunting, so it hurts your shot to win. But Tate Lytle, Garrison Hogan, that basically has ended their shot to race for a title next week. Tell us what you saw and what you could have done.
I couldn't have done anything. What I saw was nothing. It was just too late by the time I saw Carson on the track. I think Tate was the same way. He just locked it up right when he saw me lock it up and nowhere we could go.
Yeah, and we talked about how frustrating that is. You appeared to be the guy to beat. You were able to drive back to the front where you and Tate were on that tire strategy, and it appeared to be the right strategy, and it appeared that you had the fastest car.
Yeah, I really had the bottom lane working, and it looked like everybody else was trying to run like middle to high, and the little bit longer we'd run, I just start kind of walk away from him a little bit, and I was feeling really good.
So is this the last race you're going to run this season, or are we going to be able to see you next week at Fontana as well?
No, you'll see me next week.
Man, we hate seeing you get wrecked like that. You were my race pick again there. That's 2 weeks in a row I've picked you, and you have gotten wrecked by something. You want to go for 3 next week in Fontana?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely showed out better this week than last week. That's for sure.
Well, just before you came up here, now we're going to transition to what's going on the racetrack. Oh, Chad Frankenfield and Dustin Dewar. Chad's going to go straight up. Oh, and he gets into contact with Gerald when he blends back. As I was saying there, Josh, we saw Chad and Scott running side by side. Do you think they both know the situation that they're in now? Because as it sits, as long as they finish here, they're both going to race for a championship because of what happened to Tate and Garrison. Tate and Garrison need one of them to wreck now at this point.
Oh yeah, I think they've probably, if I had to guess, they probably both know what's going on.
Dave did bring up a point though.
Got
Tate Lytle and Rucker.
That's right where I was watching.
Oh my goodness. Tate just turns down, gets Rucker. The 92 gets involved, the 88. Man, he almost helped his chase chances there. If Tate could have gotten Chad Frankenfield caught up in that, that would have greatly helped his chase chances. But Chad sneaks through.
I think definitely around Bristol here, when you're running 16 or 17-second lap times like the 2 is, you got to be predictable. Like, you can't move down like that at the last second on a guy that's running race speed.
Yeah, that was rough. But we do have most of the field pitting, but some are staying out. I think I would pit here. What are you guys thinking here, Josh and Dave and Robert? You guys pitting here?
I think just, from the experience on the track already tonight, I don't know how many of them stayed out, but if you can get the track position up front and pin those guys back in 10th or so, I don't think we ran as far there. They might be all right, but the guys that pitted here, this might be their last step.
Looks like
just 5 stayed out.
Is that enough to track position
4.
overcome tires?
Cody's in now.
I don't believe so.
Oh, so we're down to 4 that stayed out.
Burrell, Ultra, Goodman, Jones, the 4 that stayed out.
How do you feel about those 4 if you're Ethan at the lead, Josh?
Who were the 4 we were talking about?
Burrell, Ultra, Goodman, and Brent Jones.
I don't feel too good about their chances. Not enough cars in between them.
Yeah, I agree on that. As Tate Lytle comes down, he's a lap down anyways, but I agree on that. I don't think that's enough cars between Burrell and Foti to make it work.
Yeah, I agree, but I will say this. I think some guys are down to their last set. I don't know if Burrell's one of them, and these other guys that stayed out maybe didn't want to put on their last set yet. Some guys might have just used their last set as well. I believe you guys only had 3 sets laying in the pits at the start of the race, right, Josh?
Correct.
So, yeah, some guys might be out of tires at this point. I don't know if Dave or Robert has access to that kind of information based on what they're looking at, but I do believe that there are some guys who might be out of tires.
I believe you're correct. I don't have that exact info, but
yeah, it looks like
I do believe they're out.
Yeah, it looks like pit count. Foti's been in 4 times, RC 3 times, 3 for Matthew Weeks and Crump, 3 for Chad, 3 for Hosack.
We're getting ready to go green, boys. One car that's not out of tires, though, let me just hit on him. Gerald Campbell. He's probably pitted 1 time. Green is out. Burrell gets away. Now they're racing for second. 3 wide, 2 wide. The slow guys that stayed out are really wrecking havoc up here on these guys. Oh, Gerald gets into the 89 of Britt Jones.
Britt Jones round.
71 gets loose trying to get down. It appears everybody is going to get away clean. Chad Frankenfield, Scott Crump side by side once again. It looks like it's very cordial at this point.
Uh-oh.
Foti gets through to second.
Thought Crump was going to go and try to go underneath Dusty there a little bit. Or is that Goodman?
That's Goody, yeah. Oh. I thought Dave Carpenter just went straight into the wall back there, but...
You know who's holding on pretty good on his old tires? Brandon Ultra.
Yeah, Brandon Ultra doing a nice job. Chad just got a
big contact
to the wall right there.
You would think Chad maybe would only be going about 85 or 90% because he's safe.
Chad doesn't know 85 or 90%. It's 110 every time.
Come on, I gotta have. Chad knows a little bit less,
Foti
right?
going for the lead here, Chris.
Yeah, and those old tires, it's going to have it. RC is going to come with him. Tooker, Weeks, all of a sudden, Pro Edge is going to run second, third, fourth, and fifth with Gerald Campbell there behind him. Got 2 Pro Edge guys up here in the booth with me. All of a sudden, this race is taking a very Pro Edge turn.
Hey, Pro Edge is everywhere, buddy.
Not quite the turn that Josh wanted there for Pro Edge when he was out front, but Gerald Campbell.
Josh just has had no luck at all.
That's pretty much it. I told you guys I was either going to race for the win or probably be parked last week, and we were racing. We were doing both. We ended up doing both.
You know what? It is something I just thought about here, and I know we're racing here right now, but we saw Jeff go after you after that wreck there, and nothing was said about it. What was the deal there? Because it did not appear that you went at him at all, other than, you know, when you just drilled him, which not much you could do at that point.
No, I did. I hit him a little bit, just, you know, like a really dude, you know, racing out here. Back there basically for nothing. What I saw off the replay, he stopped at the wall, rolled back a little bit, and then just held the brake right in the middle of the track. I just thought he had time maybe to clear all the way off the track and at least give us a shot, but that was just more frustration than anything. And then, you know, he was already the one wrecked and decided to take even more of it out on me, so that was just a frustration deal.
Yeah, well, can't control that. That wreck was very reminiscent of like wrecks we've seen at Dover, you know, in the past, where you come off the corner and you can't see, and then the next thing you know, you're firewall deep somewhere. As we got a race for the lead here, Foti and RC, very tight at the front with Tooker and Weeks, and then Gerald Campbell. Now Gerald Campbell can spoil this mess. We talk about Chad and Scott knowing that they're in based on how everything's looking right now, but if Gerald gets up there and win, all of a sudden, only one of Scott or Chad is making it.
And Gerald's right there.
How much would
Gerald's
Gerald
usually-
love to bump out Chad?
He would love
Gerald's usually one of those guys that may run 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe even 15th, and something happens at the end and he just kind of backs into it. That could very easily happen here today. A la the championship I lost a couple years ago.
Oh, we're side by side for the lead. RC taking a look at Tyler Foti. Tate's way off pace, but we'll see what happens.
I imagine this time he'll just hold one clean line.
He wants all the clean lines.
It looks like he even went all the way to the apron there.
Dusty just eating the wall ahead of these guys every lap.
How interesting is it that the two guys locked in are running first and second right now?
It's pretty
Seems
fitting.
appropriate.
I mean,
Hey,
they've
where
been
does
the best
Matthew
guys
Weeks
all
fit
year.
into all this? Is he a playoff guy still?
No.
Okay.
Matthew was eliminated last round, just barely.
The one question I will ask, Chris, does it surprise you that these two are out there in the front?
Well, a little bit, because I thought
If it does,
I
it
thought
should.
I thought Josh Sugar Daddy Adams was going to be a factor in the finish of this thing tonight, but you're sitting here with me.
He still could be if he gets his car fixed up and goes out there and causes the big one.
I believe the big one was already caused.
We could have a bigger one.
Got Crump up another spot in the 5th.
So that's getting by Gerald Campbell.
Yeah, Scrump looking pretty good.
Yeah, Scott's usually very good on the long runs here at Bristol. I've noticed the top few guys, Foti, RC, they've been running really hard, and Scott's just kind of back there minding his own business, running a little bit lower lane. He might get up there before the end of this.
Now, we kept tab on Scott earlier because when you pitted and drove and Scott pitted at the same time, Scott waited to go. He let everything shake out, and then when he came through the field, he came through in a hurry. So we'll see if he's got enough time. I believe we're only at about, what, 15, 17 to go, something like
18
that?
laps remaining, Chris.
18.
Ooh, things got sketchy right there with Ethan Stanley.
I believe Scott is the fastest car on the track, but
Yeah.
can he get there and can he make the passes?
Just almost ran 2/10 faster than the leader. With them running side by side, he's definitely going to be faster, but I just thought I'd find it hard.
Oh, the 92
He's
tried
gonna-
to slide up in front of him and little contact there.
I don't think he'll be able to make 4 passes.
Yes,
Those are
unless
4
he's
really
really
hard passes.
saved. If he's really saved, he could run the bottom, but and then lap traffic as well as we come to 15 to go. What happens with lap traffic?
That'll be hard to tell. There's 4 of them running 4 different lanes right there.
Boys, I think we're getting ready to see an interesting finish.
This is going to decide who's going to possibly win this race right here.
Gonna stay green.
Crump is now at the back of this line of cars.
Hey, we talk drama, and they all go simultaneously to the top.
And we got Brandon Ultra out there. He hung on his old tires as long as he could.
So here in a few laps, there's gonna be
Oh,
a bump into the back of that 40. I can see it. RC looks a little bit faster than Tyler Foti right now.
Scott's got to make this happen now. Just 11 laps to go. If he's going to have a shot to race for the win. But maybe Scott doesn't. Maybe he's a little bit more content to sit there. He knows that he's going to make the next round as long as nothing happens.
I think the
Oh,
time
he looks to the
is
bottom.
made. I don't think he's content. That's his race right there, though.
Oh, Weeks gets into the wall. Gets into Tooker.
That was that little bit of a Hail Mary move that he wanted to try and make, and it didn't quite work out for him.
Now, Gerald Campbell is at a spot where he needs a caution, and he's going to create one down at the one. Oh, they save it. Wow. Gerald needs a yellow, and he almost got himself one. Scott Crump underneath the 11 of Weeks. He is going to make that pass. Going to be 6 to go at the line. They're coming up on Tate once again. Ooh, a terrible spot for Foti to catch Tate on the exit like that. Ooh, a little bump to the back. It was very slight, though. Just 5 laps to go. We've seen Gordon and Wallace late in the race have contact where neither of us ended up wrecked. We've seen Earnhardt and Labonte have contact where they wrecked every time.
I think that was RC's moment right there when Foti wasn't able to get a good exit. He should have tried to take advantage of that.
Just 4 more times around.
RC just got a piece of the wall.
What's going to happen? 3 to go. They come up on Ethan. Side by side for second. Something's happened to RC.
Yeah, he's driving a little bit too hard through the center, messing up his exit a little bit.
Oh, and he's in the
the
wall.
wall.
2 laps to go. It's Tooker. It's RC. Or it's Tooker and it's Foti, excuse me. With Crump in third.
I'm pretty sure that's a car that Tooker might not be bashful to get into if he can get close enough down here in 3.
He's going to have to get a lot closer. He dives down into turn 1.
Let's see what he's willing to do down here.
Drives down in pretty hard. Not going to get there. Foti's going to sweep the round, followed by Tooker, Crump, and RC. Matthew Weeks is going to finish 5th. Trevor Elam, Gerald Campbell, Josh Smith, Chad Frankenfield, Michael Hosack, and David Carpenter. And I believe, this is unofficial, this is just what I believe. I believe our 4 championship racers are going to be Tyler Foti and RC Enerson, along with Scott Crump and Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, Scott just said if he didn't get blocked back there, he would have gotten there, but I don't feel like that was a block. I think he dove in and.
So, lots of interesting stuff. Our other championship drivers, we had Gerald Campbell finish in 7th. We have Tate Lytle, who's going to come home 21st. We'll have to see how the points shake out. But real quick here, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors, everybody at the Elite Racing Network, Chad for the league, putting on a race every night of the week. And we're down to just one more left. Days gone by. Championship race will be next week at Fontana. Give a shout out to, this was the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series live from Bristol. Mrs. Goodies has hooded towels and handmade items for babies, kids, you and your home, and you can find them on Facebook today. TA Services for over 36 years. TA has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. Blue Egg Marketing, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And BritzyCam. Britzy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston, and they are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. And I believe as we get set up here for interviews, we have a commercial we could throw it to for just a second while we get everything set up. All right, joining us now is our 3rd place finisher, Scott Crump. Scott, a lot of things transpired tonight. We saw, basically the wreck that changed everything was the wreck that took out the front 5 cars there, and Josh Adams and David Tooker got involved in that. Tate Lytle, a lot of guys got involved in that, and from then on, the race kind of took on a different kind of set. Take us through your night. Obviously, this is unofficial, but I believe you will be racing for a championship next week, so what more did you need to win the race, and how much aware were you of the point situation there at the end?
I think I needed about 5 more laps and probably took her out my way. He blocked me a few times. It kind of killed him my run. I was catching him right there at the end. I just couldn't get around Tooker. But all in all, I just tried to be clean all race and just take my time. Started off pretty good, and then I think it was like 20, 30 laps in, half the field pitted. And I got caught up middle of that way, lost a bunch of track position. And I just kind of eased my ways back up there and had a couple good pit stops, gained some spots there. That last run, I fell back to about 7th or 8th, a little slow on a short run, and then I just picked them off one by one. Was getting there right at the end, just ran out of laps.
Yeah, but 3rd place, nothing to be disappointed about. You did what you wanted to accomplish. Like I said, it's unofficial, but I'm pretty sure, as are you, I'm sure you can safely assume as well, you're going to be racing for a championship. So now shifting that focus there to next week, what do you think you need to go and race with? I almost said Crump. What do you need to go and race with Foti, RC, and I believe Chad Frankenfield will be the 3 that you're racing, the 4 of you, to beat those guys next week at Fontana?
I usually do pretty decent at Fontana. I think the big thing is going to be pit stop and then getting track position right at the end. I think fairly should be a clean race. So I think saving tires a little bit is going to help a little bit right there at the end of the run. So we'll see how it goes. Foti's pretty good at saving tires and being fast at the same time. I don't know how he really does it that good, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a pretty good battle.
Yeah, and like you said, Foti's pretty good. He's gotten pretty hot here, sweeping the round now. That's 3 in a row for him, and shooting for 4. So are you going to be able to stop him next week? And any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give before we let you jump on out of here?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. He's been pretty hot. Yeah, I get a shout out to my sponsor, Tate Soon Sports Podcast, Jim Castellan. He's going to be the truck sponsor next year, so that's going to be pretty awesome. So hopefully we can get a truck championship for him. And then get a shout out to my grandfather who's watching, and everybody else. Yep, Chris up in the broadcast. Yeah, do awesome job. Who's with you today?
It was me, Dave, and Robert, and then
Scott.
Josh. Josh joined us after his race took that unfortunate turn.
Well, thank you, Dave and Robert. I know Robert's pretty sick, so hopefully he's a little bit better.
Yeah, and you touched on it there, and I forgot, so I didn't even bring it up. But talk to us a little bit about Stay Tuned Sports. Going to be doing the Truck Series next year. How'd that come about, and how excited are you and everybody at Stay Tuned Sports to make that happen?
Chad put a little tweet out there, and I messaged Jim and told him if he's interested, get with Chad, and maybe he can hop on board if the price is right or whatever, so he can get his name out there a little bit more.
Well, no pressure for next season in the trucks, but you better get out there and make the Stay Tuned Sports podcast car run up front in the Truck Series next year for the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series and Elite. So, congrats on your run tonight, Scott. Solid round. Good luck next week racing for a championship, and hopefully y'all put on a really good show next week.
All right, thank you.
See, Scott, right there. Actually, you mentioned the price is right. Bob Barker is actually celebrating his 99th birthday, so happy birthday to the legendary Bob Barker on the broadcast. He's probably watching.
Hi,
That's a
Bob.
nice little
He
tidbit
is,
there. I
and
didn't know that.
he's reminding you to get your pet spayed or neutered. Don't forget. You can
That
also get
is
Dave neutered if
Always.
you'd like.
that is funny there. I did not realize that today was
Well,
his
that horse
birthday.
is out of the barn.
That is quite an accomplishment. We're lucky to have Bob with us still. But now, with us here in the booth, David Tooker. Solid run tonight, David. Obviously, the race took a turn there at the middle section there. You were just able to escape the major damage that your teammates or corporate teammates, however you want to look at it there, Tate and Josh sustained racing damage in that basically. So take us through your night and maybe what more you needed there to pass Foti at the end.
Well, guys, it was a solid night from us, at least on this side of the garage. We started second, which honestly I wasn't really expecting. I'm not really very good at qualifying pace here, but laid down a pretty solid lap, and I felt like, considering our short track experiences, that it was going to be a track position fight. But we actually ended up getting a lot of green flag running, which was actually really nice. But like you said, just started off the race good. I mean, we got the lead in the first few laps, but fell back to second. Like you said, just really fortunate to miss the mishap with all my teammates. But it's just really unfortunate because that took out a lot of fast cars, a lot of guys that had a chance to win, and one of us had a shot at the championship next week, but just wasn't meant to be. Like you said, Jeff, I don't know what could have been done differently. There was definitely a lack of communication on his side, and also from race control. I felt like we could have handled that a lot better. And unfortunately, we had probably 3 of the 4 fastest cars, maybe 4 of the 5 out of it within halfway. So it was just really unfortunate. Like I said, Tate running for a championship just is not allowed to do that anymore. So really sucks that he had to pay the price for that. But on our side, it was a solid night. Avoided all the mess, thankfully, and that's kind of what put us in this position. Decided to take tires with about 40 laps to go. I felt like that was the call. Considering where I was, I knew I had to do something different to try to get myself in position to win, and we almost did, but just didn't have enough laps. I think if I had 2 or 3 more laps, I probably could have got to him, but it's gonna be a what if. But very happy with second.
Yeah, and you brought up how Tate doesn't get the race for a championship. Well, it was a little tighter than we thought. The final tally is now just became official. The points have just been counted. Tate Lytle missed that number 4 spot to Chad Frankenfield by 2 points.
Wow, that's really that sucks. Being in Tate's position, there was nothing he really could have done. I mean, Josh is in here too. He was leading the race and he got taken out. I mean, Tate was running second. I was barely in far enough back to where I missed it. It's just wrong place at the wrong time. It's really unfortunate. I think next week, I forget what next week is, but that's probably one of Tate's best tracks. He was talking about it, and unfortunately, he doesn't get to go run for a championship.
All right, David, will we see you next week at Fontana? You going to be on the racetrack?
Oh yeah, I will definitely be there. That's one of my favorite tracks.
Well, all right, before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give, and head on over to Fontana for next week?
Yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody at Pro Edge Racing. You know, I the past few months I've taken a sabbatical, just had to get my mind right and my life right. Was battling some inner demons, but you know, we're on top of the hill now, and we're the grass is greener on the other side, so we're making progress there and try to finish out the season strong. Luckily, we grabbed a fourth last week and a podium this week, and hopefully we can grab another podium, if not a win, next week. So, you know, we left right off where we came back right where we left off, and like I said, everybody at Pro Edge Racing, this team is it's a family. It's, you know, these are my brothers, these are my guys. They've been with me through every step of the way. Trying to make sure I'm good and we're all good, and just everything is going right for us. And you know, want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors as well: TA Services, Blue Egg, KMP Graphics, Brizzy. I'm gonna forget a few other names, but all of our admin, everybody that makes this league run as well as it does. I mean, considering a Bristol short race or a short track race, you know, we usually don't run very well there, but tonight was a really solid race from our side, and I think we proved what we can do out on the racetrack, and especially at short tracks, which is where we struggled. So very happy with how this race went, and proud of all of our guys.
Well, all righty, David. Congrats on your run tonight. I know you're not racing for a championship, doing some trophy hunting, as is Josh Adams, who's with us now. And good luck next week at Fontana, ending the season strong, and maybe come back next season full time and try to make that championship for yourself.
That's the plan. Thank you, boys.
All right, boys, it's time to talk to the race winner. 3 weeks running, Tyler Foti wins again, even a wreck. Tyler got wrecked 1 point tonight and still won the thing. So take us through your race and up and down, and obviously, you know, as I've said with everybody, that big wreck there that took out the leaders was a massive turning point in the race. But how did you manage to take that wrecked race car and find your way back to the front?
Yeah, it was a pretty wild night, honestly. I did not expect to end up like this, but yeah, I started off not qualifying good, which I think started us off on the back foot, kind of. Rucker got the fence, got in a little wreck there. So first half of the race was really just trying to recover. And I've never really had a first 10 laps, like hot lap kind of car here. I've always found that I've got closer to top 3 pace when the long runs start coming. So I was just kind of hoping for that. Yeah, I mean, I think it was like halfway through, we got the car patched up pretty well, and I was back through the field up to like 7th, and then we had that big wreck. And then I went from 7th to 2nd all of a sudden. So that was a huge help. I never really got to race the guys up front. I'm sure I had top 5-ish long run speed, but I don't know how I compared with everyone else. I mean, still, I'll take it, just kind of a circumstance kind of thing, which is what it takes sometimes at these tracks. And yeah, at the end there, RC was pushing me as hard as we could go. I was borderline wrecking every corner, and the tires with Tooker and Crump were just a lap too short, so we'll take it.
Yeah, and now, you know, Tate said it last week, didn't want you getting hot at this time, and here you are hot, 3 in a row, shooting for 4. What's it going to take at Fontana? Now you know who you're racing. You know it's going to be RC. You know it's going to be Scott Crump and Chad Frankenfield. So how do you approach Fontana, and what do you think it's going to take? Is it going to take 4 in a row now? Are you going to have to win next week to win the title?
Yeah, 100%. I think barring anything crazy, I definitely expect the other 3 competitors to show up with race-winning speed. So that's what it's going to take, but that's all you can ask for. 4 guys at the peak of their game here, coming to the end and going for it. So we'll be ready.
Well, real quick here before we let you jump out of here, celebrate this win and move on to gearing up for a championship next week. Any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give?
Yeah, as always, Blue Egg Marketing and KMP Graphics for being on the car. Really happy to give them the spotlight for a third week running. Hoping to do it for a fourth week come next week. And yeah, shout out to you guys up in the booth.
All right, Tyler, thanks for giving us some time tonight. Good luck Wednesday night there at, where do we race Wednesday night?
Richmond.
Richmond, there we go. Well, you say that was such disappointment that I did not know that it was Richmond.
Yeah, I hate that track, but we'll see.
But good luck at Richmond. Good luck next week as you race for a championship here. Come back and talk to us and put on a good show out there. The four of you guys need to put on a good show and have a lot of fun at it, right? So thanks for giving us your time tonight, and congrats on your win.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, boys, we saw a pretty tame race for Bristol. Real quick here. What was that caution count tonight? Because I believe I'm the only one who took the under.
You
on
said 12.
Yeah, and I took the under. That was the over
How
under
many
12.
did we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
Wow, the under wins big time, boys.
Wow.
Yep. Congratulations.
So,
What'd you win?
A cookie. Even
I
though
don't know if I want to win anything from you two tonight, as sick as Robert is, and you said you've been sick, you know.
I'm on the mend.
Chris got the under, but he still had the commentator's jinx on me.
Yep.
It
I
equals
get
out,
partial
right?
credit because I did say Tooker. I would have taken him if I didn't think about him at the beginning of the race. I did mention it though early.
you still
pointed
win
out.
today, Dave. You took Scott Crump finishing third. I
Sure.
took Ethan Burrell finishing 12th, and Chris jinxed Sugar Daddy, and he finished 26th.
But it was a great race. It was a good Bristol race, actually. It was probably one of the better Bristol races we've had. A lot of green flag racing. We had a couple wrecks there in the middle, and the one big wreck that really, it really changed who was going to win this race. In my opinion, it changed the rest of the race. It took on a different look after that.
Oh, absolutely. That definitely changed things up, and those guys are all definitely going to be disappointed.
So we're off to Fontana next week. Real quick here before we wrap things up, I want to ask you guys any final thoughts, any opinions you have about the race tonight at Bristol, and looking forward to Fontana.
One thing I will say, I don't know if we can cue lap 97 back up again, and I can give a sponsor a shout out, but David Tooker had the All-State Good Hands move of the race, missing that wreck, at least the bigger portion of it.
Ooh, let's see if we can do it. What lap did you say? 97?
97. Yeah, this replay is brought to us by Allstate.
um,
Well, here we go on the Whiskey Cast replay.
you want to go on board?
That track looks clean there, Josh, so far, man.
It was until it wasn't. See, the 38's sitting there off of turn 2 right now. Just none of us had any idea. He gets into Tate here and then gets sideways just enough to miss the 38's rear. Scooted right around him and still had a chance to win.
Let's back that
pretty
up
good
one more
move.
time.
After this last ride with Tooker here, I want to ride with Josh. I want Josh to talk us through what he's thinking as he gets ready to drive into the side of Jeff.
He was thinking, I want to hit him hard. I just want
That's
to
all I
end Jeff
could do.
Critten's night.
So I actually think the angle he had here to get out from behind, if he was riding behind Tate, that would have been terrible.
Yes, you watch how he just misses him here. Corrects the
Wow.
wheel to.
That's
It's pretty good
crazy.
heads up.
We'll
Yeah,
go cockpit with Sugar Daddy.
All right, take us through this, Josh, Sugar Daddy here. What are you thinking as you're coming out of this corner?
So you see here, it's just like all's going good. Riding the bottom, taking it easy, just how I was every other lap. And I get close to the exit right about the time I can probably start to see him, and I hear my virtual spotter say, "Oh, we got a slow car up high or whatever." So I try and slow down, and you see we're slowing down, trying to do whatever we can, and just couldn't do anything.
And then you get collected here by Tate, and I believe Garrison Hogan got involved in that as well. We made a lot of talk about Tate, but Garrison's chances at a championship as well. It ended in that pile up there too.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is jump all over anybody, because it's Bristol, things happen really fast. But if we rode with the 38, you see him, he starts to back down the track a little bit and then just parks it, and he's just in our lap.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how long he was sitting there either. Like, would you like as a driver to be told, "Hey, I'm sitting here"? Like, if he comes over and says, like, "Hey, I'm wrecked right here," does that change things? Because he has plenty of time. He has time, in my opinion, to say where he's
See,
sitting.
he's backing up a little bit, and then he just decides to stay there. So, like, I don't know what was happening. Maybe you'd like for a call out, but like I said, it's Bristol. This lap happens in 15 seconds, and he might not even had time to queue up. Who knows?
Tell you what, though, that changed the outcome of the race, changed the outcome of the round and the playoffs, and the outcome of what's going to happen next week. But as for us here, this is going to do it for us. I want to say thanks to everybody here at Elite Racing Network, Chad Frankenfield for all he does. This was the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. Couldn't do all this without our great sponsors at Mrs. Goodies, TA Services, Blue Egg Marketing, and Britzy Cam. And getting ready here as we head to next week for Days Gone By Vintage Apparel Championship Race. So thanks for tuning in. Tune back in on Wednesday night where we will be in action from Richmond for the Cup Series. Friday night, IndyCar will end their season at Gateway. I believe Sunday we have an F1 race and a truck race as well. I believe those two races will go on next Sunday. And we will be back with you next Monday to end the season for the Elite Mrs. Goodies B season. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you a week from today.